Hello there, my name is Finny and welcome back to, or just welcome to Tangle Tower. Now, I wasn't originally going to plan on doing anything with this, but I have been contacted by two people about this now, Game Master 1 and Sirrus, and have both suggested this, and I'm going to jump into this. I'm not going to do like a whole LP, just going to do a little bit of this, because I'm really not that great at these, and honestly, these aren't my type of game. But that being said, let's start a new one. Lake's Edge. Alright, we're starting.
You ready, Sally?
Grimoire, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
Just checking.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, but it's basically blank. Did you read the case file? What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on. Did you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime scene.
So here it is. Case file. Murder victim Freya Fellow, 19. Dial whilst painting a portrait of Flora Fellow, 58. Location, Flora Tower. Flora was present as she was posing for a portrait. Freya Fellow was found lying on her back with a single stab wound in her chest. The weapon was found at the scene, but the subject of Freya's unfinished painting is holding a knife. The red color on the tip of the knife is not paint, it is discovered to be blood. Small painting on a scrap of paper. A few notes has been written on the back. Nowadays, it goes by Tangle Tower, but it's actually a pair of towers connected by a mansion at the base. It is surrounded by a circular lake. The water is in an unusual mix of colors. The lake is enclosed by sheer pale cliffs that are too steep and smooth to climb. Tangle Tower is currently home of both the Fellow family and the Pointer family. Alright, so we start from there again. And, oh. Okay, so this is this, okay. Oh. So, is this how we gather clues, by combing over it? We also have this. Freya. Freya's like outline, the knife, Flora. Yeah, okay, so far this is pretty neat. Are you ready? Let's go.
It's a path. We're walking.
Thanks, Sally. This is Sally from the last game, right? Same hair, same voice. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I was also told I could include the ending of Grimoire 2 at this, but I never finished that one. I gave up on it. So, yeah, sorry. Like I said, these aren't my kind of game. I'm not very good at these. Gardens.
It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster.
Playing a harp.
Playing a harp. Hang on a second.
So I like how Markiplier Grimoire here is like kind of nervous and scared, while Sally is just kind of like, oh yeah, just playing a harp. Okay, look closer.
This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Well, Markiplier from 2010s anyway, when he had the red hair.
Something tells me we're not going to solve this just yet.
So we're getting back to this, huh? Okay.
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Harp statue. An old weathered statue of an amphibious creature holding a large harp. Symbols are engraved on each of the harp's 4 column segments. Okay, cool.
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare away detectives.
Is it working?
No.
I mean, that wouldn't scare me away. I just know that's part of the statue, or it's part of the thing.
It's a bandstand.
Bit small for a bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand.
Sally.
A bench of solid cold stone.
My favorite kind.
It's a stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
I think it's supposed to look like that. It's an egg.
It's an egg. Sally's awesome. I like Sally. Alright, let's keep going. I'm glad she wasn't guilty in the last game, because now she's my assistant. Main entrance. Alright.
Oh.
What?
Oh. There's an O on the floor.
Oh yeah. Tangle tour.
Twir.
Twir.
Should we ring the doorbell?
Why would we not?
I like how her face changes when she does that.
It's a little melody.
It's a little melody. I like Sally's design. It's actually really cool looking. Well, should we go inside then? So I'm trying to find like the walk button, but it's not here. You have to click on the little thing on the corner. This little thing here.
Sally, check those plants for clues.
Is soil a clue?
Is soil a clue?
It's not locked.
A door.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
Stairs.
Stairs.
Stairs. What about this?
It's a big glass tube filled with water.
There are weeds in there. And sand.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it. Anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at one point there was. Probably some kind of,
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
Sounds boring. Look closer. So here we have the Fellows, the Remingtons. Ooh, the Remingtons. Ooh, Richard Remington. Remember him from the last one? And the Pointers. Let's take a look at him, why don't we?
Lord Fellow.
Looks like he was married twice.
Scandal.
Scandal. So he was married to Lady Fellow, and he was married to Selena Stonetop.
Selena Stonetop.
No family line. Apparently, she just appeared out of nowhere.
And then she had Felicia Fellow.
Felicia Fellow.
Freya's mother.
Do you think she still lives here?
Looks like she was married to Damien Dusk.
Damien Dusk.
Whoa. Is it too late to change my name to Detective Dusk?
It's Freya's father. Do you think he still lives here?
And then they had Freya.
Freya Fellow.
The murder victim.
She's barely related to the main family at all.
So it looks like he married her, which had... So the ones with the yellow on it, I'm guessing, are the main ones. Freya married Damien, and then nothing else came from that. That's what I get out of that. Then we have Lady Fellow here.
Lady Fellow.
Do these people not have first names?
No, I mean, Lord and Lady is usually what they're called. Then we got Flint. It looks like from there they had Flint.
Flint Fellow.
A purebred fellow, if there ever was one. Married a randomer, though.
Do you think he still lives here?
And then he married what looks like to be Emily Everstone over here.
Emily Everstone. Do you think she still lives here?
They have nothing to say about that. And then they had Fritz together.
Fitzfellow. Half fellow, half Everstone.
Do you think he still lives here?
And then I guess Felix is just kind of here.
Felix Fellow. Looks like he married his way into the Remington family.
Do you think he still lives here?
So Felix, and then here's the Remingtons.
Lord Remington.
He sounds important.
And then he married to Lady.
Lady Remington.
I think I have one of those in my bathroom.
What, a Remington shotgun, or? And then they had Flora Remington.
Flora Remington.
I think she's mentioned in our case file.
Who was, it looks like, married to Felix.
Felix Fellow. Looks like he
Do you
met
think he still lives here?
We looked at that one already, but together they had Fiona.
Fiona Fellow. Dead center. She must be important.
She's half fellow and half Remington.
Do you think she still lives here?
And then from there we also have Richard Remington.
Richard Remington.
The one and only.
Mm-hmm. We all remember him. He died, and he was still a bad person. Primrose. That's a pretty name.
Primrose Remington.
I always liked the name Primrose.
Me too, Sally. Me too.
Do you think she still lives here?
And then she married her way into the Pointer family, it looks like. She married Percival. So here's the Pointers.
Lord Pointer.
This goes back a couple of generations. Lady Pointer.
How do you become a lady? I want to be a lady.
I can call you Lady Sally if you'd like. Then it goes down. Here's Percival.
Percival Pointer. He married into the Remington family.
Do you think he still lives here?
And then it looks like they had Poppy. Hello, my name's Poppy. You want to take a selfie with me?
Poppy Pointer.
She's half Remington and half Pointer.
Do you think she still lives here?
I don't know. I literally just got here. And then there was also... Ooh, Pandora. That's also a really pretty name, I think.
Pandora Pointer.
All this alliteration isn't happening by accident, is it?
Do you think she still lives here?
She got married to Buck Brackley.
Buck Brackley.
What a name.
Do you think he still lives here?
And together they had Penelope. Ooh, Penelope is another one of my favorite names. I love Penelope.
Pointer.
Half Pointer, half Brackley.
Do you think she
Do you
still
think
lives
she
here?
still lives here? Alright, so I think that's the family tree. I've looked at all of that. What else is there to look at in here? Pictures?
Finally, we get to investigate a murder in a spooky mansion.
It's not that spooky, really.
Don't ruin this.
Don't ruin this.
This one has a big P.
That's probably important.
How very perceptive of you.
I like how she kind of passively says it. Very perceptive of you.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion?
Well, you know why they do that. It's because this side is the... whatever the F stands for, I forget.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
Fellow, okay. This side is Fellow, and this side is Pointer, that's why. So the two sides know each thing here. Okay, where do I go from here? Oh, okay, it says to go here. I like, this is kind of clever too. Flora's Tower. Looks like we got, it looks like Flora's here.
Let's take a look at that painting first.
Okay.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
Painted portrait. Freya was unable to finish the painting as she died sometime during the process. Flora appears to be wielding a knife. A red substance on the tip. It was discovered to be blood. Yeah. Ooh, spooky.
wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
There's something wrong with the crime scene, and something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not good at these. Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because Freya stole it because it stabbed Freya.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting? Not by the woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
Mm-hmm. Freya was standing right up by the canvas when she was killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here?
So it's
Case
like whatever.
The case is not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder suspect.
I agree. I'm totally on Sally's side here. Tangle Tower. Unfinished painting. Continue. Alright, let's talk to Freya here. Boy, that's a face. Hi there.
Flora... fellow?
Doesn't say much, does she?
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
Nothing. What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now.
I mean, let her kind of, I mean, she feels bad right now.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora?
Oh,
I don't really
I kind of feel bad for
her.
her.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
Was this something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we
Nope.
can say we tried.
Well, thank you.
Flora, you were definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you must have seen something? Can you tell me anything about what happened to Freya? She's acting pretty suspicious if you ask me.
I don't know. Maybe she really doesn't know anything.
How is that possible?
Well, thank you for your time. Let's take a look around. Ooh.
Is that a gramophone?
I think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
Ooh, I want that. I want that in real life. That sounds like it'd be awesome.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
Yeah, this would be so cool. I mean, if it didn't have this big crack on it. Just this gramophone with a tape on it. That's so cool. I would love to have this. It plays cassette tapes instead of vinyl records. It's pointed toward the middle of the room. There's a noticeable crack running through it all the way from the horn down to the tape deck.
What about the cassette tape?
Yeah, it sure is pink.
It's got the same, like, matching crack on it. The cassette tape has a crack down the middle. There is handwritten message labeled to Freya. Let's study the fingerprint, or the handwriting. Maybe we could get who the suspect is. Alright.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go.
Try it. The gramophone can still be used to listen to audio cassettes. Oh, okay. I have to click on the... Okay.
It's piano music.
The cassette tape has a crack down the middle. There is a handwritten message on the label to Freya. It's recording a piano music. It plays for a short while before stopping. It's really pretty. I really like it. Just gonna let this linger for a bit. You guys won't mind, right? Yeah, I really like that. Looks like there could be another tape that could go here. Well, I don't have one though. Anyway, yeah, there was that.
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood, right in the middle. No real signs of a struggle.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
Alright, the murder victim, okay. The red color. So what am I looking at here? Looks like her paintbrush and that.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
The palette has a variety of paints loaded onto it. The largest is a blob of black in the middle. The paintbrush is still covered with dried red paint. Yeah, that's what happens when it's just kind of left there. You know, it just kind of dries up.
Freya's painting supplies.
These one's got the same cracks on them. Small glass spots of red, yellow, blue, and white in paint. The glass spots are all cracked down one side. So this is cracked. And these paints are cracked.
Freya's painting supplies.
Yeah, they're the same thing. Even though I clearly clicked on something different.
Is that an egg? An egg with bird feet.
It's also covered in gemstones. What a completely ordinary object.
Let's look at it. Why not? Let's put our fingers all over other people's stuff.
For something.
Those gems look like they come off.
Swap positions of the gems. Rotate the egg to see clue on the back. Okay. So we got like these tangles of lines here. This one has like, what is this? Like a purple thing, and then it goes to a lemon. So I'm guessing one of these, right? And then it goes to a lemon, and then this is like a thick one. It goes like.
It's some kind of clue about where to put the gemstones.
Thanks. I didn't mean to do that. It's like a star that goes down into a kind of a whatever, a trapezoid or whatever this is. And then star. And then this is like a big round one, it looks like. It's got another one of those purple things and a blue thing. Yeah, a blue thing. So this thing here. Let's see. The long end goes to the circle, so this would be the circle. And then one of these. What is it? One of these. Okay, now we got this. It's like a blue that leads to a trapezoid. So a blue and a trapezoid. And then we got this one. And it's a diamond that leads to a diamond. That one's easy enough. And then a star that leads to a lemon. This weird square one here. I did that one already, apparently. Is there any of these that I'm missing?
Just gonna rest my brain.
Oh, I was pushing the wrong one. That's okay.
Something.
Start of a square.
That's the one.
Got it. Sheesh.
Hey, not
all right.
bad.
So I was pushing the wrong one. That's why. I kept pushing exit instead of the solve one.
Did it unlock? What's in there?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, I'm not leaving without a clue. An empty egg's a clue, right?
Awesome. I'm so glad I did this for no reason. Once a locked egg can be opened, it's currently open. The lining of the egg is soft, velvet-like material. The egg is supported by a stand made of brass. It rests on 3 strange feet with pointed claws. Okay. Feet. Is there anything else in here?
That's the only door in and out of the room.
It's also on the floor.
Sure is. Guessing it's not supposed to be down there.
Well, I'm guessing this is like an attic, right? And this is like a trapdoor. That's my guess anyway. So where am I supposed to go from here? Let's go here. Workshop. Oh look, he looks like he's mourning.
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
Well, I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
Alright, tell us about yourself.
So, Felix, what exactly do you do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer / treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is...
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
Don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sally's like, I'm not buying it.
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help. But I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
Alright, statement.
It was
Let's hear it.
dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right. Fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora, too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
Alright, thank you, sir. You've been most helpful. Let's take a look at your room here.
Puffer fish?
Yes. It's also a lamp, for some reason.
That's a massive conch shell. Do you think there's a little crab living inside?
I hope so.
I just realized he's snoring. I thought he was mourning over there.
It's a magic lamp. Can we summon the genie?
If we get really stuck, sure.
Shelf junk.
An old wooden mask.
Probably cursed. The entire room is made of wood.
Oh, it's not just made of wood. I think it's the actual hull of a ship.
It's a drinking horn.
Is it full of ale? Or mead, maybe?
Right now, it's just full of dust.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand-painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
Yeah, I can understand. Wooden carving of a man holding a sword. The model has been hand-painted, but the paint is not skillfully applied. Yellow, blue, black, and white. Paints are found nearby. Okay. Looking to see if there's any cracks. Alright.
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it.
Alright, let's look at it. Oh.
What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
I'm thinking this is like a picture, a place, and like maybe directions, like coordinates. I don't know. Let's take a look. So here we got Nessie. It looks like she's looking at a tree with two birds. There's a mountain here and an X down here. So let's see what we got. So here's Nessie. There's a few of them. Let's see. So I'm guessing it would be H maybe. Let's try H. And then I'm guessing the bird and the tree are going to be another thing. So let's see. There's also the bird in the tree here. The bird in the tree is also here. Let's try 6. And then here's like north, east, west, south, etc. And it looks like X here is on the W. Let's try W. Oops.
There we go.
Ah, got it. On my first try too.
Perfect.
And inside we have...
What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
So it looks like we got Fiona, a model resembling a child with green hair, a model resembling a woman with gray hair, a model resembling a red and white bird, a model resembling a broad-shouldered man. The wooden models have been hand-painted. The paint is not skillfully applied. A pot of red paint and a brush is laying nearby. The brushes have some dried red paint on it. Don't these people know how to clean their paintbrushes? Sheesh. I'm an artist, and this kind of tilts me a bit. I don't know why. Yeah, cool. Alright, we are back. I had to exit the game real quick to turn off paw tracking so my hands don't randomly move. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. So we just talked to him and did this treasure chest, and I'm going to see what else we have in this thing. Let's go. Alright, so we talked to Freya already. I don't think she's really anything else to say. Statement. Yeah, there's nothing else for her here, so let's go then. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am. We'll be on our way. I guess let's just work our way down here. Let's go here next. Alright. Freya's room. Oh, that's grim.
Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight? A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate.
A cushion with a paw print. Why not? Pillow, cushion. Yeah, plants that don't need water.
It's a little glass box.
It's called fake plant, my
I
friend.
think it's a vivarium.
A vivarium?
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
I love Sally. Sally's probably got to be my favorite.
That's weird.
What did you find in the drawers?
nothing. They're completely empty.
Alright, so let's see.
Brushes, pencils.
They're clean, but they look pretty well used.
Brushes.
They're clean, but they look...
Alright, so anything else in here?
Painting supplies. That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere of chaos and oppression?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
Look at this photograph. Nickelback's gonna copyright me. A small photograph of Freya's abstract painting. A piece of adhesive tape is stuck on it. Lines have been drawn with black ink around the edges. Alright, sorry about that. Let's take a look. So we have these things. There's a tape up here. Can I look at it? Like, can I flip it over or something? Alright, guess not. Alright, is that it around here?
It's a fish, I think.
I think it looks more like a whale.
Yeah, I think it does too. It's got water coming out its blowhole.
Fine, it's a whale.
Could also be a shark.
No, I don't know. It's got water coming out the top of it. I'm saying it's a whale.
A lot of these paintings look unfinished.
How can you tell if they're finished or not?
Good point.
Yeah, Sally, you show him.
Freya's bear.
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
Yeah, his poor owner is dead. There's a spider up here.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Alright, so nothing in Freya's room.
Painting supplies.
So, there's that. Let's go to the room down here and see what this is. Oh, okay. Library. Why, hello there, ma'am.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis about the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fella, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
My name is Iron Mouse. Steamer. Vtuber. I think she's kind of cute, actually. Yourself.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Phoebe, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
I think she's cute. I like her.
What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
Alright, my favorite characters. Sally and this Fifi. Fifi is awesome. I love Fifi.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated.
Aww.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
I think she's the cutest. I love her. Anyway, I'm gonna look around the rest of your room.
Should be unlocked now.
Okay.
Can't wait.
I guess let's go. Alright, so let's take a look at Fifi's room here. Yep, just what you would expect her room to look like. Scientific. She's got her whatever energy drink this is.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
Correct. I created it myself using my own ingredients.
A new suspect! Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise!
Safe for the judge.
I like how they both played on that. That was awesome.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet
Okay.
that's even worse.
So it's the same thing again, and what we have here.
He's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
Alright, it looks like,
And that's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that. Do I?
I'm guessing this, yeah, this is me.
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
So those arrows pointing. So Sally and Grimoire are together. It looks like these two are together.
Who is that?
No idea.
That leads down to her.
Who is that?
No idea.
I'm guessing this is...
Who's that?
Not sure.
That's gotta be Flora.
Looks like Flora is connected with him.
I think that's supposed to be Felix.
And then this is Poppy, right?
Who's that?
Not sure.
You guys aren't very good at this, are you?
Arrows connecting all the different suspects.
They're not labeled, though.
Yeah, they're completely meaningless.
So what are we supposed to do about it?
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Fifi is freaking awesome. I'm sorry. I'll say it right here.
Isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Mysteries abound. Okay, what else we got in here?
Boxes. Of stuff.
Boxes of stuff.
That's a whole lot of books. That's a whole lot of books. A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple trick, but it really transforms the space.
What do we have here?
It's a magnifying glass. A big one.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe, too?
You can pull off a pipe.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
What's that big book on the desk?
Okay, it's just
I
okay.
hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about
So,
Scientific formulas. Probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means.
me neither, but I am an animal, so I've got an excuse. What about you?
What's that big
I'm looking at the bag of chips.
It's just a bunch of notes about her homemade posters. This one's about the Pythagoras theorem.
I've not heard of that band. Are they any good?
I don't know, but I don't know. Pythagoras theorem sounds like that'd be awesome. So that was Freya's room. Should we go back and talk to Freya about some other stuff? Or not Freya, Fifi. You got anything else, Fifi? Nothing? Okay, thought I'll check. What else has opened up? Gotta go around and talk to everybody here first before I do anything else, really. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm horrible at these games. Aha, Bookhead.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Alright, please tell me about yourself.
Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return. Nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
Yesterday.
Day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while
Penelope
besides
in the
the pond in
greenhouse.
the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening.
Right, let's hear it.
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
Okay, sure, dude. What do you got around here?
It's tidier than my desk. The notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So? Even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's tidier than my desk.
So? Even the most well-used notebooks...
Alright. So, I guess clicking on that's just going to yield the same thing, and we'll be over here.
What is it?
It's, clearly some kind of large device.
You're not wrong.
It's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime.
It looks like he's busy doing his thing.
Spyglass to the Stars. Volumes 1 to 12.
They're in very good condition.
You never heard of taking good care of your
The bell
books?
jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean?
Anyway, guess that's it as far as this goes. I don't know what else to click on.
It's too cloudy to see any...
It's also daytime.
We're gonna go. Let's check out here. See what this is all about over here. Ah, I guess you're a Poppy, right?
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
So this is the rarity of the Grimoire family here. Or game, I guess. Yourself.
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
Which is the best way to go about it.
I work early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
You're weird. Alright, give me your statement.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Alright, thanks, ma'am. Nice talking with you.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Alright, let's do it.
Now, like, right now?
Let's go now! Alright, so let's take a look and see what she's got. Of course, what you would expect, birds.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
Ah,
They're wooden.
the puzzle.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Swap positions of the 7 birds. I don't know what they're supposed to be here. Is there like some kind of clue that could help me? I guess it would start off with them sleeping and then being half awake. I don't know.
Nope.
There must be some logic to how the birds are arranged. Something to do with those white lines.
Okay, that's real helpful. I have no idea what I'm doing. It looks like he just slowly starts falling asleep.
Nothing.
I think the birds are related to each other.
What? The birds are related to each other. Is this right?
That's the one.
Oh,
Hey,
thank
not
goodness. Took me forever, but I got it. Alright, let's see what we got.
Did the door open? What's in there?
Now I'll get help. Now I'll get her. It's a red piece of paper crumpled into a ball. Red flower petals were found inside. A message is angrily scrawled on the paper. Now I'll get her. Okay, that's interesting. What's that mean?
Anything in there?
Bed sheets.
That's not even remotely suspicious. Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed. A little bedtime reading.
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
I think that's it.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting sentence. Ever get the feeling
The
you're
mannequins
That's not. That's sunflower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
It looks dead, too. Brightly colored flower with an unusual shape. It looks healthy and well looked after. The soil in the pot looks fresh and moist. It's also an unusual blue color. Okay. I think that's it as far as this room goes. Let's do this one. Music room. It's the same music that was played on the tape. Whoa.
Are you a ghost?
Sally, that's rude.
Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
What's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey,
Alright.
you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
Alright, let's talk about yourself.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer.
So yesterday.
3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that.
So let's hear your
Fitz
statement.
and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
She's Ingers. Ingers. Very ingy.
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
I wonder what's in there.
Let's go. The same music is playing.
There's a name for this kind of piano. You know, these ones that stand upright?
Yeah, they're called grand pianos. Let's see.
It's a metronome for keeping time.
Get closer. Oh, okay, another puzzle.
Ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
Alright, so I'm guessing we're supposed to put these in with the symbols, right? So... Wait, what's going on? Oh, okay. How about some kind of hint? What's the hint here?
Nothing.
We can't rotate the pendulums directly. We just have to use the buttons.
I'm not sure what we're supposed to even be doing.
Still locked.
The symbols on the buttons look pretty similar to the ones on the pendulums.
Yeah, I think they're the same symbols.
That's a real help. Oh, I get it. Okay. So let's try to get the symbols right here. So I need to circle... Okay, that looks about right, but then...
That was incorrect.
So, the symbols on the buttons, they each represent 2 of the pendulums. Pressing them seems to rotate those 2 pendulums by 45 degrees. It shouldn't be too hard to get all of them to rotate up to the top.
No problem. Alright, so that looks like what I need them to be. That's not what I needed it to do. Ugh. This is why I don't play these kind of games, just because I'm horrible at them. Like that.
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad.
Alright.
What happened?
A little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph. Part of a photograph.
Alright, ripped photo. Ripped photo shows a young girl with blonde hair and pink clothes. The girl in the photo is using a bright pink cassette player with matching headphones. Yeah, I'm thinking this is Freya, right? That's what that looks like. I love this music.
Sheet music, presumably for piano.
It's only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
Sheet music has been framed and it's decorated with old-fashioned tape illustrations. Yeah, you know why? I think it's because this is a little loop that's played on the cassette tape. See, I think we're piecing the pieces together somewhat here.
Various handmade posters.
What do you think those symbols mean?
Hopefully, nothing.
More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music.
Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there are so many shades of black.
A lamp. It is most definitely turned off. Empty.
I kind of expected like some kind of snide remark like oh, you don't say, or something like that. So everything there's what's like here. Stone Square. Ah, detective.
Wow. Nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick, Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you, anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do.
Yeah, okay. Tell me about yourself, lady.
It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are you...
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so?
Yeah, Sally's awesome.
As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers is one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite.
Alright, let's hear your statement.
Early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented and decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life.
Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear, but sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
Okay, nice talking with you. What do you got out here?
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
I don't think there's really anything significant
Is that
out
a
here.
clock?
If it is, it's a clock with 4 faces.
Okay.
I'm guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
Let's see. There's still one more room here. The greenhouse.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers.
Grimoire's like, what?
Tools. Used by a gardener. For gardening.
Thanks, Ellie.
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Yeah, it does. Potted fruit with a hard gemstone-like skin. The soil of the pot is unusual blue color. Okay then.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be.
A little chart of, actually, I have no idea what it's about.
This is another puzzle. Oh, it
Kinda
is.
reminds me of a periodic table.
What am I supposed to do here? Am I just looking at it?
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Okay.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
Hello, guy.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't
Why
know.
would... Alright.
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it, as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No. I'm just the gardener.
Alright.
I was in
Yesterday.
the greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet. And then, it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's something.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
This could be interesting.
Fritz's room.
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
Okay.
It's a garden, I think. It's currently far away.
We could walk closer to it.
Ready when you are.
Alright, suspect
That's
statements.
all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me.
I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing this for about an hour. Like I said, I don't plan on making this a full LP, but this was brought to my attention by 2 people, and I figured 2 people bringing it up, I should at least look into it. I talked to all the suspects and all that, but I don't know, this just isn't my cup of tea. I'm just not good at these games, and I hate to say this, but they're just not fun for me, so I don't think they'd be fun to watch. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did playing it, and until next time, stay foxy, YouTube.